Okay, starting off today, instead of the fun and amazing World Cup updates like we've been having for the past few weeks, today we have to start with death. Yeah. Unfortunately, just to start your week off. Because it has been a wild and strange week for Washington. From Trump saying that he might be gone, to Senator Lindsey Graham dying a day after he arrived home from Ukraine, to Senator Mitch McConnell finally giving an update after rumors he was gone too. Starting with Trump, he said this week something that was kind of strange for a lot of people. He said, "I'm leaving instructions in case I die." Apparently, he gave these instructions to JD Vance. But what interested me the most about this when I first heard was that this isn't the first time he spoke about his potential death in the past few days. Because, saying it once, okay, it's strange, but it won't raise too many eyebrows. But he has spoken about this on a number of occasions now. The first was the NATO summit, where he said he's the #1 person on Iran's kill list, and that he, quote, might be gone.
I mention it only because it's on the list. I mean, it came out. There was another list came out yesterday, and I'm #1 on. I like being #1 on TikTok better, but I'm #1 on the list for killing.
The next day, he then told the New York Post that he's left instructions in case he is killed by Iran, and the instructions are to literally just bomb the hell out of them at levels they have never seen before. And I wonder if that's technically possible. Like, are you as a president allowed to leave notes for after your death? Because when you're dead, surely your power is gone. But then I guess people can carry on what you would have wanted. I don't know. Well, I guess we'll see if it happens. And then he even joked, "I hope you'll miss me." Just like he said a bunch of these sort of things. And just to add on top of all of that, a Wall Street Journal report came out saying that Israel had recently shared intelligence with the US, indicating that Iran had developed new assassination plots for Trump. So you start to wonder, is this the reason that he's talking about he might be gone? And it looks like they are taking this seriously, because it's believed, based on that Israeli intelligence, that instead of flying home from Turkey, where the NATO summit was, back to Washington on the Qatari Air Force One, the one that he was given by Qatar, they actually switched back to the old American-made Air Force One for security purposes. And then things took yet another turn after that. Because after the New York Times reported that the Air Force One that Qatar gave to Trump might have some security concerns, several New York Times journalists were then handed subpoenas by federal agents demanding that they appear in front of a federal jury so that authorities can investigate if there was a potential illegal leak by giving this information about the plane to the public. So it's all kicking off right now. And you might be wondering, well, how do we really know Iran want him dead? Why, maybe this is something else. Well, they didn't really leave a lot of ambiguity about sharing this. I mean, just look at some of the pictures of the signs that they held up recently at the burial of Iran's late supreme leader, which, as we all know, was killed by US and Israeli strikes. Yeah, just straight up, we will Trump. Yeah. Oh, and this also comes right at the same time where the US and Iran war is flaring up again. They're bombing each other again. It's looking like it may spiral. But I mean, I can't even keep up to date with what I'm telling you guys, because sometimes I'm telling you it's over, we're good. And then the next day it's this. So I'll keep you updated. But unfortunately, guys, the death doesn't stop there. Because we also got some really unexpected news coming out of Washington. Senator Lindsey Graham is dead. Yeah, one of the most influential voices in American foreign politics. Just out of nowhere over the weekend, his office said that he passed away after a brief and sudden illness. And that was the part that kind of caught everyone off guard, because everyone was just watching him in Ukraine. Look at him. This was him with Zelensky just literally a day before. He was around there visiting factories that, supply drones. The BBC reported that there was no health concerns ahead of this trip. And so when you hear the news, he's just dead, of course, X blew up.
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
How are you?
Good. Older. But no wiser.
Now, a little bit of context for those who don't know who Lindsey Graham is. He was a staunch supporter of Israel, with Netanyahu posting after that Israel just lost one of their greatest friends.
He had a way with him. He was a wonderful, wonderful friend, a great American patriot, and a great champion of the Israel-American alliance. And I'll miss him personally a lot. a lot.
He was a strong proponent of US support for Ukraine. In fact, he was actually in Ukraine working on a new version of the Russia sanctions bill, one that they'd actually had a breakthrough with, and he said that it was going to become law when they got back to Washington.
I'm pleased to announce, as of about 30 minutes ago, we've reached agreement with the White House on a version of the Russian sanctions bill. It means it's going to become law. So when I get back to Washington, to see if we can find time to move this Russian sanctions package that would give tools to President Trump to help end this war.
But turns out it wasn't just the Russia sanctions that Lindsey Graham was working on before his death, because a report from Axios was published today describing that in the past week, he was working on a big diplomatic push to normalize relations between Israel and Saudi. And apparently he even planned trips to go to both countries to restart talks between the two nations. The Axios report even says that Graham joked, "I can't die now. I still need to do the Russia sanctions, get Iran sorted out, and do the Israeli-Saudi normalization." But now, I guess none of that can be done, at least by him. Now, we do actually have some official statements about the cause of his death. His office later released a statement saying, the DC medical examiner's preliminary findings is that he died from a tear in the aorta caused by hardened arteries. So, cardiac arrest. And then, just to add another layer into this Trump stuff and the Lindsey Graham death, we get an update from another senator that we haven't heard from in weeks following his hospitalization in mid-June. 84-year-old Mitch McConnell gave everyone an update saying that he will not be returning to the Senate quite yet, and that the reason he was admitted to hospital was that he fell and he had a mild case of pneumonia. And it seems that they released this statement almost as like a sign that he is still alive, because telling you, after Lindsey Graham died, the rumors about Mitch McConnell went crazy. And then, I'm sorry to break it to you guys, the deaths don't stop there. It's been a wild weekend, because we also learned on Saturday that South Africa's midfielder, Jaden Adams, he was found dead less than 2 weeks after competing at the World Cup, which is just two horrific things to have at the same time. You have the joy and the amazingness of the World Cup, and then this. To make it worse, Jaden was only 25 years old. Now, South Africa's Minister of Sport announced his death, saying that South African football lost one of its brightest young talents. Now, in terms of cause of death, there has been no official confirmation on that, and the family is saying, please do not, speculate online about it. But what we do know is that police said that they found his body in a house in central Cape Town. Jaden's father was also interviewed, and he refused to confirm or deny rumors that he had taken his own life. And then, on top of that, actor Sam Neill, who all of you will probably know, actor, Jurassic Park, an absolute legend. He died at 78 on Monday. His family said that his death was also unexpected and sudden, but they were blessed by the fact that Sam remained cancer-free. That was after his diagnosis.
They're moving in herds. They do move in herds.
Now, as of recording, that's it. Right? Now, hopefully, when this goes live, that will remain it. But that is the hard part out of the way. Let's get into some other news. Oh, actually, Alex, I think it's time to bring back the transitions, because we've got a big day ahead of us. Ready? What transition? Okay. Sorry, Alex, not making your life easy with these transitions. I don't think they make sense. So, as you can see, suitcase behind me, you know what that means. I'm leaving you guys once again. No, we will remain 2 times a week. Not 3 times, 2 times a week. We are doing Asia Tour V2. We're talking Korea, China, Japan, all, of course, to shoot documentaries this time for you guys, for you. Now, of course, with traveling, unexpected things happen. And in that case, me and Alex have discussed doing a daily voice note for all of you guys every single morning to tell you what the hell is going on. So as you're waking up, as you're driving to work, as you're going to the gym, I'm going to yap to you with a voice note every single day about what's happening that day. The things you need to know about. And so no matter where I am, what part of the world, if I'm in the sky, if I'm not, I will be there to tell you what the hell's going on for a few minutes. But that will only be on the Patreon. If you haven't been on Patreon yet, what are you doing? It is quickly becoming the empire's capital city. You're still out in the rural villages, all right? Join us in the capital. Anyway, back to the news. Let's talk about Conor McGregor. So over the weekend, everyone has started to say that Conor McGregor is done, and he actually scammed the UFC after his disastrous return on Saturday. In fact, this fight might be one of the biggest anti-climax scenarios that we have seen the entire year. In fact, the fight was so unbelievable that it has now sparked wild theories and that it was one giant conspiracy, that this is also, he could get in the ring, do a little quick few seconds, and then bounce with millions of dollars without actually having to fight. You see, for those who don't know, Conor McGregor, you haven't really heard of him much unless it's like to do with political stuff and him running for president of Ireland. Never president, or was it prime minister? Can't remember. And that's because he's been out of the UFC for like 5 years. And this weekend, he was supposed to make his big return at obviously 37 years old. So we knew something was going to happen. But it was a main event fight against Max Holloway. And of course, so many tickets sold because he is one of the biggest names in the sport's history. However, within the opening few seconds, yes, I said seconds, 69 seconds to be precise, he throws this wild kick, misses, but then he injures his leg in the process. Now, we can't play the videos on here because of copyright, but he tries to continue to fight, and then Max is kind of like looking like, what is going on here? Because Conor McGregor keeps on kind of stumbling and falling over. He looks at the ref. Fight gets called. And that's it. That's all he needed to do to get paid millions upon millions of dollars. And that is exactly why people are starting to say this is all sus. Some people have started to claim that all of this, actually he knew that he had an injury before the fight. This video, for example, is being posted everywhere right now, and it's showing Conor McGregor, he's taking off his shoes before the fight, and you can kind of see him standing a little bit strange. And not only that, but apparently there's another video and it's circulating of him arriving at a medical facility a few days before the fight. Some are saying that he appears to be limping in this video, but I mean, you can watch it, see what you think. Some people have even suggested, without evidence, may I add, that Dana White knew about this beforehand, but he refused to cancel the fight, all because of money. But again, like, it's really important to know, while these theories are everywhere, none of them are coming out with any actual evidence to suggest that they knew he was injured before the fight and they fought anyway. In fact, the rumors have become so big that Conor McGregor had to address them himself, denying that he was limping before the fight or he had any kind of injury before. In fact, there's even a video of him drilling the exact same kick that appeared to injure him during the fight, and he seemed fine. In fact, even Dana White also denied knowing anything about this alleged pre-existing injury. So whether he was injured, whether he wasn't, it doesn't really matter. One thing that is for sure, we got some pretty great memes out of it, at least for the people that didn't pay. Anyway, moving on. I gotta do a transition, Alex. Me just getting up. Is that enough? Yeah! Okay, guys, also this week, and I've been dying to tell you this, I might quit this channel. I might, because I have just won $5 million from FIFA. I'm not even kidding! 5 million! Are you hearing what I'm telling you right now? So, basically, this week, they sent me an email, right? And they said, can you see that there? This email, they said that they randomly picked one fan who's been watching the whole World Cup, and that my email was selected. Literally, all they said that I need to do is just fill out a couple of forms and then... Alex?
Dylan, do not fill out any forms! It's a scam! It's like the 5th one now!
What are you talking about? It's a scam. You just don't want me to get rich because I'll quit and then you'll lose your job.
It says FIFA!
What do you... FIFA. Oh my god. I have just won $5 million from FIFA. Well, either way, Alex, you're fired. God damn it! You see, that's the kind of shit that would never happen if I was on my Proton Mail account. You see, when I'm using Proton, they actually filter out scam and phishing emails before they even hit your account. And not only that, but it's an email that is actually private. Google, on the other hand, can literally scan your emails and sell your data to third parties.
Let's go.
No, it was a scam.
The whole
The whole thing was a scam. We're not rich. In fact, we might be much more poor after this. Yep, all right. Proton Mail is end-to-end encrypted, meaning no one, not even governments and Proton themselves, can read your communications. And the best part is, making the switch from Gmail literally takes minutes and is free. So, if you want a clean, safe, and private email, click the link that I've pinned in the comments, proton.me/DylanPage, and join Proton Mail today. Now I'm going off to cry.
The only thing that's going to make this better is talking about the World Cup.
And even that is sad to talk about right now because there's only 1 week left. Guys, I think we should just have like a depression episode after this where I just present the news, but with tears. But it's not over yet. We need to go and get my haircut, which is why I'm in the car. A good old trim, that will make me feel better. And then let's talk about Norway before we go in. All right, let's go.
Right, we have arrived.
Now, before we get out, let's talk about this story quick. So, turns out that British Airways and Norwegian Air, they made a bit of a bet. They said that whoever loses the quarterfinal has to change their Instagram profile picture to the logo of the other company. And it all started with this random Norwegian account called Fly Norwegian, something like that. And it went insanely viral. And then it was actually British Airways that jumped on top of that and they thought, this could be pretty good. No wonder it was England. They did have the better odds. And fun fact, British Airways, not even British. It's owned by like a French company. So that's another whole rabbit hole. So you don't even get to claim the... Anyway, point is, they jumped on top of it. They said, we're challenging you, Norwegian Air. And then the Norwegian Air, like, social media staff traveled all the way to London with this, like, little memory stick. It has, like, a little, it's gonna give them the logo in case it happens.
So we challenged British Airways to swap logos with us for the upcoming England versus Norway game. I'm gonna fly over and meet up at their headquarters, follow along to see what happened.
And then, of course, after Norway actually lost the game, they actually stuck to their word. And so it was Norwegian Air with British Airways logo for a full 24 hours. And like, come on, that is the type of marketing that we actually want to see, where it's actually enjoyable. You know what I mean? Like, we can partake in something fun like that, where it's tied to something. We don't want to see just regular ads. Everyone, look at British Airways and Norwegian Air. Do that kind of marketing. All right, I think it is time that we actually go and get the haircut. I think we should do a haircut transition. You ready? 3, 2, 1.
Train by day, Joe Rogan podcast by...
Woo! Look at that. Beautiful. Alex, I bet you wish you had this haircut, huh? Now, we need to rush inside because we have our Indian waiting for us. And it actually got ordered like 30 minutes ago, so we're gonna have cold Indian waiting for us, and Maddie's gonna be at the door saying, "No,
I'm hiding.
Oh, why?
I'm just tan, so I look crazy.
Okay, she doesn't want to be on camera, but she's happy that the food is here. She's happy that I've got home. Why are the tables not set? Huh? Huh? Right, now before we get into the next story, let's all just appreciate how delicious my dinner is waiting for me. So, let's talk about it. Very controversial cruise ship situation yet again in 2026. But this time it's very different. So there's this ship, right, called Virgin Voyages Scarlet Lady. And a bunch of countries are now refusing to let it dock. But it isn't because it's carrying some disease like the Hunter virus whole situation. No, it's because of the people on it. See, it turns out Scarlet Lady is an LGBTQ+ ship and is currently on what they describe an all-epic, all-gay voyage for 10 days from Athens to Venice. Now, one of their stops was meant to be in Turkey. And meant to be is the key point. Because just days before they were meant to arrive, the local government in the place that they were actually supposed to dock released a statement on X saying that the organization behind this trip have behaviors that, quote, do not align with the structure of our society and our moral values. And then they just added on, and that it's caused great discomfort in various segments of our society. Now, as you can imagine, that caused outrage because there were about 2,000 1,000 passengers on board this cruise. And they were saying that this is insane because we can't dock in a country literally because of who we are. So they were like, okay, fine, whatever. We're not going to take our tourist money and spend it in Turkey. Egypt, they will gladly accept our tourist dollar. Except now we're hearing they are refusing to let it dock as well. Now, it turns out Egypt, they haven't even given a public reason, but we can probably assume that it's the same reason as Turkey. And the CEO of this cruise ship, Atlantis, said that this is the first time in 36 years the company has been actively told not to dock here because of who we are. 36 years, and then it's suddenly happening in 2026? What is going on? I mean, literally, some of the company's former cruise ships have docked in Turkey before as well, so why the sudden change? Now, upon looking into it, it seems that they have a little bit of a political changing climate there, which they've essentially become harsher and harsher against the LGBT community in recent years. But yeah, pretty insane situation. So I'm not too sure where they're headed next, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna eat some dinner and then it's time to finish packing. Oh, transition.
Or snap it in front of the screen. Yeah, do that.
This is a transition from Madeline.
Oh. Wait, let me get you.
Wait, ready? Right. This is a good one.
Let me get you a better
No.
one. Yeah, that one's
It's done. I'm turning it off. I'm hungry. Oh, guys, while I'm packing, there is one thing that we cannot forget to bring with us all the way from the UK to Korea. And in fact, it might just be part of the News Daddy tour permanently going forward. And that is Alex's nipple. Yep. Right in there. You coming with me, Alex? Okay, guys, I am pretty much all packed. I know it doesn't look like it. I'm just doing the last little, recording bits in the morning because we've got to take all of our camera gear. Look how beautiful. This is 9-10 p.m. at night and we've still got sun. Anyway, alright, that is where we're leaving it for tonight. Good night, and I will see you for the last couple of stories in the morning before we fly off to Korea. And away we tally-ho. Look at us tally-hoing.
Tally-hoing. Do need to water that plant.
So thirsty.
Okay, as we reach our final portion of the trip until we get to the airport and fly away, I think it is time for some rapid fire news! So, firstly, it is likely that if you're a man, your grandfather had about double the testosterone that you have, because turns out, according to new research, men's average testosterone levels have halved in 50 years. They said that rising obesity levels and diabetes are expected to play a part. The team behind the work suggests that environmental factors such as endocrine disrupting chemicals, so those like microplastics, etc., which can be found in various households and all sorts, are likely to be blamed as well. Also this week, there was a huge fire in Bangkok, Thailand that killed at least 30 people with over 70 hospitalized. And I don't know if you've seen the videos of this yet, but they are absolutely insane. Like, it looks literally like one of the doors, it looks like someone just hit up a huge flamethrower out of the building. It was ridiculous. And the worst part about this is that most of the victims actually died from smoke inhalation. They were trapped in the back of this bar, this pub, in windowless rooms. And this is because the bar technically had 4 exits, but one of them was blocked by a table and the other one had a sliding door, but the handle was missing. So simply put, people couldn't get out fast enough, making it their deadliest fire in 17 years. Also this week, Argentina became the first nation in World Cup history to reach the semifinals without facing a single top 18 team. God damn. And the hate for the Argentina football team continues right now because there is a petition that's got over 2 million signatures in just under 36 hours. I mean, That's not that significant. But I mean, if you've been online, you've seen the memes about everyone thinks that Argentina is cheating. Whether that's real or not, it's most likely not. But people dislike them so much that they're even rooting for England. Something that never happens. Usually England are the team that everyone hates. Also this week, we heard reports that Disney Plus are exploring a new pricing tier for their streaming service. And I hope you're sat down, because this new pricing tier is free. Now look, I think we all know by now, nothing in life is free. So I'm sure there's a catch, even if they have some stuff for free. It also just shows that they're desperate because YouTube is taking their lunch. Also this week, Norway got an absolutely insane welcome home after their historic performance at the World Cup. I mean, this is a team that hasn't been in the World Cup for 28 years. They come back and they made it to the freaking quarterfinals. That is insane. Now, not only did they get escorted home by freaking fighter jets, but they had over 100,000 people gathering outside the Royal Palace in Oslo, waiting for them, and then they all did the Norwegian row together. Oh man, something about Norway, man. Oh, and Haaland got off the plane with a pretty interesting souvenir. He brought home a $750 whiskey raccoon from Wild Bill's Weston store in Dallas, Texas. Oh, and this is a bit of a random one. Because Haaland has become so iconic throughout this World Cup, a bunch of people have started now naming their newborn babies Haaland. Apparently over 500 newborns in Peru, of all countries, have been named after the Norwegian player, with 468 being named Haaland and 91 with the full name Erling Haaland. I think that is about a wrap for today. Woo! It's good to have rapid fire news again. Yeah, maybe we should bring it back. And also bring back Today in History. Why do we start these things and we forget about them? Maybe we'll bring them back exclusively on Patreon. But no, seriously, we're going to be doing daily voice notes on there. So kind of like rapid fire news, but audio. That's how I imagine it. Anyway, see you at the Capital's Empire. Wish me a safe flight. And I would like France to beat Spain. And obviously, when England plays Argentina, England thrash Argentina. They're not even getting close to a second World Cup final. I love you all, and I will see you in Korea.